today. Okay, I'll do it again. Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome everyone joining our session today. Our session title is about 6 award-winning online course design strategies that I'd like to share based upon the course that I have designed and I've been teaching for the past more than 10 years. My name is Sang Park. I'm an associate professor of Learning Design and Technology program. There we go. And then we have, yeah.
And hi, everybody. I'm Christie Nicholas. I'm the Director of Learning Design and Research at Innovative Education Digital Learning at USF, and have been working with Dr. Park for quite a few number of years, and had the privilege of working with him to design this specific course that we're about to share with you.
Thank you, Christie. So I wanted to tell you this first before we get move on to the next one. So this course received the online course design and teaching award, which was the first inaugural award from the University of South Florida, and I feel so privileged and so extremely honored to receive the award. So I'm happy to share this course with you. I want to start with the concept of learning experience design, because that's the concept, that's the idea that everybody in this room probably would be interested in. So when we think about the learning experience design, we're not just talking about the experience or design, right? We're talking about many different factors and aspects of the course or curriculum or learning, including the context of learning, audience, our target audience, and the type of technology that we want to use, and also available resources and how we can put them all together to create the most memorable and optimal level of learning experience, right? That's the key, and that's the kind of common goal that we all have in our mind. So one of the things we have to think about to create those wonderful online courses is that how can we do to further to ensure the optimal learning experiences and engagement. And here I am emphasizing the concept of engagement because engagement is the kind of fuel, and that's the power that can provide more optimal learning level of experiences. So I am going to introduce one conceptual model here. It's called the motivation achievement cycle. So as you can find, as an instructional designer and as someone working in the field of instructional design and technology, we care a lot and much about the quality of learning on top of this circle, right? So that's why we follow the quality measure standards and how can we, the best course we can create in order to make sure that the quality of learning is ensured. The factor that can also affect the quality of learning is motivation and engagement, as you can find in this blue circle. And there are multiple different subcomponents working together to support the motivational effort for students. So there is the concepts such as academic emotions, engagement. And it will start from the cognitive process of appraisal between the expectancy and value. So when we think about the quality of learning, we have to think about how we can meet the standards to make the quality course. And also we have to think about student motivation and their engagement. And this particular workshop today and presentation is about those motivation and engagement issues. And how can we make sure that our students are fully motivated and also engaged. I have a reference on the bottom of the slide, just in case if you want to take a look and read more about this model. So this particular course is called the current trend in instructional technology. So as someone who's teaching any course with the title including current trend, that means probably you have to update the course almost every semester, or at least a year, right, to make it more current. So that's the efforts I've been doing since 2013 when I first, started teaching this course. So the current version of the course is a little different from the original version, but the one thing that has not been changed was the how we can support our students so that they can pay more attention to the course and they can make their best efforts to be successful in this online course. So on the left side, you will see the course, the first screen of the online course. On your right side, that's kind of the course map, weekly course map that students have to complete. So this was the video clip, a short video clip. It introduces about the course and about the award. So I'm gonna play this video now. The course title that I submitted for this prestigious award is called the Current Trend in Instructional Technology. So in this course, we cover the basic foundations of the field, as well as some of the practical ideas and the tools that help our students to become professional instructional designers. So the first thing I thought about was gamification, so make it more fun and engaging. I use augmented reality, virtual reality, metaverse, chatbot, ChatGPT type of topics in my courses because those are current topics that they need to understand. And those are the topics that will be asked about when they find a job in the field of instructional design or instructional technology. Students must be the top priority in online courses. And think about the course from the learner's perspective so that they can have a more positive and enjoyable learning journey throughout the semester. Design the course modules based upon learner's eyes so that all the information is clearly presented. This award is a testament to the tremendous effort and the time and support they are received from the innovative education. I truly believe the field of instructional design will only grow because it's not just a job position in one field. Higher education, K-12 level, government, military. Instructional designer is an essential component of all workplaces. Okay, so that was really nice video clip. And you probably noticed that me within the video looks kind of slim because I gained about 30 pounds of weight ever, since I recorded that. I'm gonna move on to the next slide. There we go. So the couple of things that I would like to share before we jump on to those 6 different strategies. The first one is that, as everybody knows, each course is different. Each course has a different set of learning objectives, learning activities, assessment plan, and the final outcomes, right? So even if we share those 6 different strategies, I'm not saying that we have to use all those 6 strategies in your course whenever you design your online course. I'm sharing based upon the nature of the course, which was the introductory current trends course for the incoming new master's level students. And these are the strategies that we thought about and we apply to the design of the course. The second thing is that I know everybody in this room, you probably have different strategies that you use for your institutions or for your courses. So at the end of the session, I'd like to open our conversation and see how you do and what kind of things do you use and was it successful or not, what kind of, the insights you might be able to share. So while we are presenting this presentation, I hope you think about your own case. So at the end of the session, maybe we can, share ideas all together. So the first strategy I would like to emphasize is the authentic cases. So in this course, we use a set of assessment activities and assignments. And we want to make sure that the activities and assignments are all on the real world setting and authentic cases. So for example, we use the instructional designer interviews because we want to make sure that our students understand the world of instructional design, what it means to become an instructional designer, in what settings they, how they can be prepared to become a better instructional designer. The week 1 or 2, and they complete those activities after they read about the instructional design field. And also the next assignments, online tutorial analysis. At the third week of the course, students read about the learning theories and they watch my lecture and we have a communication discussions. And we don't end up there. We ask students to think about, find the learning object and instructional materials and the modules. And their responsibility, their job is now to analyze that learning materials and learning modules based upon the learning theories that they just learned, so that they can have a more analytical viewpoint about how the particular set of learning module was designed and created based upon which learning outcomes in mind. We also have some practical activities in this course. For example, web design tool, tutorial analysis, and also augmented reality cases. For this particular activity about augmented reality, the goal here is to make sure that they understand what it is and how they can create something simple AR learning modules. So we start with some case analysis. And of course, students will have to find a good case and they'll have to present what the case was about. And then they use a tool such as Zapper, AR design tool, and they create a simple AR learning module. So all of the activities are based upon the theories and models first, and then they have some kind of discussion, and then they do create those products and assignments, based upon the real world setting and using the authentic cases. So that's the one strategy that we can share. Okay, Christie.
All right, yeah. So I'm going to talk about the sequence module structure. And this is partly too coming from a design perspective when we partnered with Dr. Park to create this course. So, and just for a little bit of context on that process, we worked with Dr. Park for about a semester, looking at the objectives and then really designing and developing the entire course over that one semester, including all of the customized content and kind of gameful elements that you'll see here today. So part of our approach here, especially for the design and our second strategy, our sequenced module structure. So students very much, the design of this was very intentional. Students follow a very scaffolded type of approach, not only throughout the course, but also on a module basis too. So in the course, as Dr. Park mentioned, students really start with foundational knowledge, design models, learning theories, history of instructional technology, before moving on to topics from the later part of the course, which really kind of dig into more of the design practices and implementation of those practices across different settings. So that's kind of how the scaffolded approach works on the course level. And then the example you can see here for just one of the topics for augmented reality, that scaffolded approach also happens on a module level. So you can see that students really start with targeted readings about theories and models. Then they kind of move on to some higher level activities like analyzing case studies, and then they actually create lessons that they would use across different settings. And then finally reflect on benefits and challenges of that implementation. So really the structure is very scaffolded, both across the course and on a module basis. And then the third strategy, which I would argue was the most fun to partner with Dr. Park on in terms of design, was really gamification and interactivity. So we used several approaches when we were thinking about the design of this. So if we can skip to the next slide there, Dr. Park. We used several gameful elements. So things like characterization, module maps with progress markers, and interactivity specifically related to the content. So here you see our instructional technology hero, which is a character we developed during the design of the course. And this character really serves as a reinforcement, a guide for learners as they kind of progress throughout the course. And we also implemented elements of the character throughout each module, throughout the content, to show students progress as they approach different modules of the course. So it was really, this character kind of serves multiple purposes throughout the design. So the next element, kind of reinforcing the character again, we use progress markers. So we designed a page that students interacted with at the beginning and end of each module, and kind of showed them a map, where they at, where they headed, and they showed it in relation. We developed some nice visuals with our character, so you can see how our character kind of gradually turns into our hero over time after the end of each module, and kind of gains new pieces of his equipment, and you know, turns into our character finally at the end of the course. All right, and then another strategy we used here was we created a module map. So this page actually is from the very beginning of the course. It was on a course overview page that we designed, and basically serves as a holistic guide for students. Where are we headed? How many modules are in the course? And it shows them in relation to the topics, and kind of how the course is actually structured for students. So you can see here, and this kind of reinforces the scaffolded design again. Modules 1 through 3 is really covering the more historical foundational elements of the course. 4 through 7 is exploring some of the emerging technologies, which in this case, when we originally designed, we were talking about things like mobile learning and virtual worlds. And then the last part of the course in module 8, students are really exploring kind of the future of instructional technology. So it really provides students a nice view of where the course is heading. And I'll have to say, putting my designer hat here on, it's awesome to see, because we had designed this course, you know, a few years ago. So as Dr. Park said, with current trends and the pressure of kind of keeping this course really relevant and timely for students, it's really nice to see how it's adapted and refined over time. I know as designers, we kind of focus on the design, and then at USF, we're off to other design projects. So it's really nice to see this course kind of mature, and how it's refined and embedded like new topics and very relevant materials for students over time. And then finally, we designed a lot of interactive content. So we worked very closely with Dr. Park to develop a lot of opportunities for students to be able to interact with the content. So we used storyline heavily, and really used a lot of components like music and voiceover, you know, from Dr. Park with the presentations and the lecture materials. We used music and imagery, and really went in it very intentionally to design some purposeful opportunities for students to actually interact and engage with the content throughout the course.
Thank you, Christie. So I want to make a confession here that without the help of interactive, innovative education and the Christie and other instructional design team, I don't think I've never would have been able to achieve that high level of interactions, or the the interesting the gamification strategies. So I wanted to say thank you again for your time and effort and everything you have done for this course. The next strategy I'd like to share is called the cognitive and emotional engagement analysis. So oftentimes, if you think about the course that you teach or you have designed, how do we know if students are engaged or if they are motivated, right? Well, some of you probably use like in the middle of the semester, formative kind of questionnaire, right? Just to understand how they are doing, how students are doing by the time that they finished up the half of the semester. Well, that works fine. That was fine. But for me, it was not enough. And also, we oftentimes wait until the end of the semester until we got the result, from the end of the semester course evaluation. The problem I see with that end of semester course evaluation is that oftentimes students rely on their recollection of the previous memories. It does not show exactly how the problematic modules were something that they want us to improve. It's more of the I liked it, I'm satisfied. I like the instructor. I don't like the instructor. I like the teamwork. I do not like a group work, and such, those kind of general comments and suggestions. So because it's not specific enough, as a course instructor myself, it's really hard to find out how can I improve the course for the next, following semester. So in order to solve that problem, I worked with some of my colleagues here in the US staff, and we have created this capsule. It's called the Course Activity Pulse for students' understanding of learning ecology. So we thought about ecology or engagement, but we went with the term ecology. So what it does is that at the end of every week or at the end of every module, students are given a series of questions which they can complete within 2 minutes of time. It's not complicated one. And the set of questions consists of their cognitive experiences and their emotional experiences. So here the idea behind of this question was because the learning experience. So when you think about the learning experience, everybody talk about different things. Some of the folks, they think about learning satisfaction, but some of the folks, they think about the learning modules and the content. So to me, learning experience, it's a combination of their cognitive experiences, emotional experiences, and their behavior experiences. Within the Canvas environment, you know that there are the menus you can check some behavioral analytics, right? For example, if they are late submitting their assignment, or if they are missing any communication with the course instructor, you can say that, and you can check that, although that's not 100% perfect. But there's no way that we can understand their cognitive engagement or their emotional experiences or engagement. So that's the reasoning behind of this short survey. So the first, the box on the survey, we ask about, their mental effort they invested on this particular, the week 1 module, and the perceived level of difficulties and the level of prior knowledge that they perceived, and their feeling of their control over the study. It's about their confidence, and then, over their the enjoyment. And on the bottom half of the survey, we ask a series of questions about their emotions so that we can better understand how students felt about this particular the weekly module and how that's related to their cognitive experiences. And on the bottom of the survey, we have open-ended the response section where they can just feel free to write anything they want to tell the course instructor. So the system was consist of, this particular programming and then the database all connected together. And we were able to pilot this, the capsule data within the Canvas using the visualization board. So when you connect all in a piece of those systems all together, it comes as a menu, one of the menus on the left side of Canvas. And when you click that one, and it comes with the like a visualization dashboard. So the dashboard offers an automated way to capture and visualize, different aspects of learning experiences and learning engagement. It particularly shows online students' engagement throughout the semester. So we don't have to wait until the end of the semester. And by completing this every week, at the end of the semester, we have accumulated data about students' learning experiences and their engagement in addition to their course evaluation. So the dashboard also provides real-time insights as students progress through the course. It helps course instructor identify who is struggling with the content and what kind of help that they need. Finally, it assists in understanding which areas of the course design need to be enhanced or redesigned, or maybe the difficulty level was too high, so we have to adjust the level of difficulty or provide more example. So based upon the information, you can get a lot of the ideas for the following semester. On your right side of the screen, that's the screen capture of the dashboard. So you will find that on top, the first half of top half of the screen capture, you find the cognitive engagement. On the bottom part, emotional engagement. And for that emotional engagement graph, it's a 2-dimension, actually 4 different dimensions by the level of balance and by the level of arousal. So that you can have 4 different dimensions. And here our goal is to place our students to be within high valence rather than low valence. So here's a short video clip I'd like to show. So it's a canvas and there is a menu. When you click that one, it comes with your dashboard, and the dashboard has 3 different menus. So you can show the data by course. We can show the data by different module. In this case, it was a every weekly module, module-based data, excuse me. And also you can show the data per student. So what it means is that you can see how all of the students enrolled in the class, they thought about the week 1 course module and how they felt about the week 1 course module. And if there's any information you want to see more details, then you can click on the students. That way you can see how each of the students thought about the week 1 module and how they felt about this week 1 module. So in this particular case, we are looking at the students showing some of the low balance, which is frustration and anxiety. That means that the students had a reason why she or he felt it that way, right? And that's the enough reason for me to contact the student and ask about, hey, I saw that your level of the emotional engagement was, more of the negative side. So I want to know what is going on. Anything, we can improve the course module. So it can initiate those kind of conversations with the students. And as I mentioned earlier, as the data is keep being accumulated, at the end of the semester, you have a good kind of amount of information you can utilize and consider for the course improvements in the following semester. I'm gonna stop right here. All right. So that's one thing. The capture was one of the tools that we utilized in this course. The 5th strategy that I like to share is called the motivational support through RAMI. So RAMI is the short name of the Regulatory Advisor for Motivation Inhibition. That's the acronym of that. Excuse me. As an instructor, in the field of instructional design and technology, and all of you, and most of you working in the same field, when we consider motivation support for our students, we usually, follow 2 different approaches. The first approach is motivational design, which is on the left side of the screen. So as you probably know, Keller's ARC's motivational design model has been internationally well-known motivational design model, right? So A stands for attention, R, relevance, C, confidence, and satisfaction. So there are, sub-components for each one of those main elements of the motivation design, and you can follow the step-by-step instruction to create motivationally enhanced online course. And it is where this motivational design is considered usually before you design the course component or at the same time. That's what this ARCS model is for. So after you apply the ARCS motivational design model, you can have motivationally enhanced online learning course based upon the ARCS motivational model. So that's how we can create online learning to be more motivationally enhanced. On the right side of the screen, however, that is more learner focused. Even if we design really, really interesting, wonderful, motivationally highly enhanced online course, we also have to think about how students feel and how they regulate their own motivation, the problems, because each and every student will have different motivation issues, right? So there is a model called motivation regulation model. So we have created a chapter system based upon the motivation regulation model. And the model suggests there are 8 different types of strategies you can communicate with your students. And in online class or the in-person classes, you can actually communicate in person that means that you have to be really ready to talk to your students, and you have to spend a lot of time with that. So in order to solve that performance problem, we try to create a chatbot system that can that enables communication about the motivation issues with the students. And you can also suggest some of the motivational solutions that can be possibly used to support our students' motivation regulation process. So we have some screen captures in here, and this is one example. You start with what is your name, and then it follows the name, and then do you have any motivation issues that we want to talk about? Then you provide more your issue. I'm not motivated at all, and then you can then the chatbot provide what could be a possible reason for that you think, right? And then you can follow up the communication from that. So as a data source, because you have to train this chatbot to be more familiar with those motivational issues, so they can provide more helpful, useful motivational suggestions. We analyzed the 69 essays from the 20 graduate students, and we trained this chatbot to be able to respond based upon those the real, authentic scenarios. And then it follows the 8 motivation regulation strategies. So at the end of the communication with the chatbot with Rami, students can learn, identify the problems, the motivation problems that they are experiencing, and what will be some potential ways to solve that problem. And this is all in addition to the online course that we created with the motivationally enhanced strategies. So we conducted some kind of formative evaluation about the use of Rami within this class. And most of the students reported that they liked it because it's user-friendly. It is available for 24 hours and 7 days. And they provide more motivational strategies and suggestions. Sometimes the Rami does not understand the question, and there were some hiccups. And students reported that as well. So we're still working on, revising and making a more elaborated version of chatbot in this semester. So they definitely saw and found the value of, Rami as an educational tool to support their motivational experiences. Okay. The last, but not least, the strategy that I'd like to share with you all today is the learning community. So you heard the term a lot, and you probably know, learning community, and you probably have designed the learning community element in your online courses. The way that I've been working is two. The first one is we have like a roundtable session. This is not a roundtable session on this screen. We have a roundtable session before they come to the final paper and final presentation. So it follows the same rules and format as like a professional association presentation, but it is done virtually. So students will pick a topic from their book, from the textbook, already assigned, and they prepare their own materials to share with other classmates who wants to join their roundtable. And from there, they can initiate the discussion, and they can provide, they can have some questions, and they can provide some, suggestions as well. That's one way to create a learning community within this online course, given that this is a mostly asynchronous online course. But, we have some synchronous components as well. The second, the method we use to improve your learning community practice is this one, the virtual conference. So at the end of the semester, students will have to submit their final paper describing one type of learning technology that they think would be effective considering the future education field. And then they have to pick one based upon the textbook. And oftentimes they choose the virtual reality, augmented reality, and AI chatbot, which are all great topics. And then they share their presentation using their YouTube channel, the videos. So they prepare their PowerPoint and they record their own sessions, and then they submit their YouTube video link. Then I put them all together into one page so they can be more like the virtual conference site. On the bottom of the conference site, of course, there is a section for discussion and questions. This is for those who are unable to attend synchronous sessions. And of course, we also have a synchronous presentation sessions where students can present their final paper all together. So based upon the, regarding the motivational chatbot, Rami, you will find that the tool was introduced in the inside higher education. I think was May last year or June. So I am quite proud of this, and then to be able to share this product with the folks in the world of higher education. And on your right side, and this is the news article, and I am extremely honored to be selected as a winner for this first inaugural online course design and teaching award at USF. So I wanted to showcase, those two articles in here. Christie, would you like to share this?
Yeah, just wanted to open up the floor, I think, to any questions. I did see a question in the chat too, Dr. Park.
I didn't see that one.
So someone was wanting to get some clarification on the capsule, if it was a third-party tool or something developed at USF, which I thought was the case.
Oh, from Amy.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Amy. That's a great question. This is the tool that we have developed, and we're still working on make it more user-friendly in terms of the dashboard. However, it needs some support. So this is not the third-party tool. We have created it. I think that's the question, right? Mm-hmm. Do we have any other questions? Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate that. Skylar, that's a great question. That's our goal. So so it was initiated last year. It was initiated in the year of 2022 in the fourth semester. We conceptualized the the idea. So we tested it using the Canvas, and then we used that for this particular course for 1 year. It is not available for others to use just because we don't want to make it as a product when it is not fully approved by USF yet. So, let me say so. But we have a book chapter coming up soon in this, I think it's gonna be in April. I think you're familiar with the association AECT, right? Association of Educational Communications and Technology. So some of the folks in there and my colleagues and myself, we wrote a chapter about the capture tool. So we are hoping to make it more, I don't know, develop it as a shareable product for you in our field.
And just to clarify, so the screen here too, there's a QR code. This is for innovative education. So if you wanted to check out our website or any of our other work or learn more about our team, that's the information you see right here.
Thank you. Jan Sutton, you asked about the module tracking for each person. So gamification mapping. So online students are often disoriented because if there's no direction, if there's no kind of the mark where they are standing and how much they make the progress, it's really difficult to understand where they are standing this time, right? So those, the mapping, the markers are placed after they finish a certain, the key elements of the course, so that they know, oh, so I have accomplished module 2 and module 3 and module 4, which was more of the foundational aspect of the course. And then once they complete their psychological foundations of their module of the instructional design and technology, like module 4 and 5, 6, and there's a marker there as well, so that they can follow up how much they have completed, and they can see where they are standing at the moment when they complete the module. So that's how has been designed.
And that's really from a visual perspective too, right, Dr. Park? They're really like graphics that we created. So the maps and the progress markers. So we didn't use a third-party tool. I know you can, like in our Canvas instance, you can work with Badger, things like that for badging purposes. This was more like through visual design that we designed those progress elements.
Okay.
And we have a few minutes. I don't know if you want to open up that first question, Dr. Park, where we kind of started with optimal engagement. And I don't know if anybody had any other strategies to share, but we want to open the floor.
Yeah, so far, we have shared some of the 6 different strategies that we have applied to the course of current trends in instructional design and technology. As I mentioned earlier, everyone has a different, course design experiences, and, depends upon the course that you are creating, you probably have different approaches, right, to improve and promote student motivation, learning experience, and their engagement. So I want to just, open the stage for anyone who would like to share, some of the tips and strategies that you like to share. That'd be great.
And I see Brooke just asked a question too, how many people were involved in the development. So we had a lead learning designer working with Dr. Park very closely. I was involved from like a project management kind of standpoint. And then we have a separate media team in Ed Studios. So they did, we partnered with them internally to do some of the video work. But I think the majority of the elements that we created were mostly from our learning designer. Our designers do a lot of custom multimedia development. So I think 95% of it was from our designer.
Yeah. Which I'm so fortunate to be able to work with. Thank you, Brooke. So, does anyone wants to share anything that you're doing, like exciting things that you do, in terms of their motivation and engagement? We use, the animations, and some of the courses we use cartoon characters, or even some cartoons, interactive videos, right?
I think it's interesting that you asked that question, because I am currently working on my dissertation, and it's specifically the impact that graphics and multimedia have on student engagement and learning in online classes. So I am very deep into looking into this as a subject, and hopefully finishing up my dissertation this summer. So
wonderful. You probably I know I'm not selling this anything, but actually there was a topic I did for my dissertation as well. So I wanted to see, there are instructive details, right? Those like animations or characters and images, they are there because like a bell and whistles, but it doesn't help learners to understand the concepts and ideas. So I wanted to see how that can be utilized, what negative effects it might have. So that was my dissertation topic. I'm glad you are pursuing that topic too.
Yeah, we in my project specifically, I worked with I'm instructional designer at UCF, and I worked with one of the other faculty members and the graphics design team that we have, and we did a graphical redesign of one of the psychology courses, and then I'm comparing the course before and after we did the redesign, and seeing what the engagement numbers in Canvas and that, and then the results of the survey that an instructor gave, and then overall grades and things. So
that's cool. Yeah.
Cannot wait to see
your finished one. Yeah, sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. There is a comment about LMSs and having to use external tools, and I'm right there with you on that. I think we use Canvas at USF, so it's kind of a blank canvas, and you can integrate a lot of third-party things. And I know their perspective is on, they don't want to be, they don't want to integrate everything. They kind of want to keep it simple so you can do that, but it does make things challenging from a design perspective. And I know our team, not only for content engagement purposes, we also use Padlet and Flipgrid and things like that, tools that we layer into Perusal, like tools that we layer into the courses to also promote extra interaction between students too. So not just content, but there's always that challenge of kind of embedding another tool into Canvas.
Yeah. And there are a lot of wonderful tools out there actually, right? But some of the tools that I really want to have, sometimes that's not available. And the capture was one of them. That's why we decided to create one.
Well, we have reached the end of this session. There is now going to be a break for the next 15 minutes until our next one. I did post the code for the treasure hut in the chat. It is meaningful success with an underscore between those two words. I'll post it again just in case. And so thank you all for coming. Thank you for our presenters. It was a really fantastic topic. And if you're in this room for the next presentation, I'll see you here. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joseph, for coordinating.